welcome back to the Mage Meetup, where you listen to a wizard talk about the things he likes and hates in gaming. And luckily, today I woke up on the right side of the bed because I want to talk about an old ass game that has a fairly newer port that I didn't have to pay a lot of money to play on the Nintendo Switch, which basically for Nintendo is a statement that breaks Geneva Convention laws. Now, I started this series 2 months ago talking about my video game figure collection, and I wanted to keep it going, talking about things I just have strong opinions on, and there's probably not too many games that I have much of a more stronger opinion on than Burnout Paradise, especially on the Nintendo Switch, to which I primarily play it on, because it has just been such a savior in my modern gaming lifestyle, just finding like simple fun that I was starting to lose in the last couple of years. And don't worry, I'm gonna unpack all of that like the zip file of the last pirated game that you downloaded. But first, for anyone that doesn't know about Burnout Paradise, this is the 2008 EA published Criterion developed game that's focused on open world racing. And when I say EA, this is the classic household name EA when they got a good reputation and not being known for all their egregious microtransactions later in the years. Burnout Paradise is the 7th spiritual successor title in the whole Burnout franchise that dates back to classic consoles of that just whole high-speed chase and racing atmosphere of all the old games, and just culminating it all into this new open world experience that I grew up playing with. And I'm pretty sure this was the first game that I ever got on my PlayStation 3. It might have been Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I'm not sure. The title is a hell of a racing game, and I would argue it's one of like the top 5 most accessible racing games for any person at any level of style to just pick up and play on console. I really enjoy this title, but the original season 1 lore as to why this game means so much to me outside of like the cool gameplay is because back in 2019, 2020, you know, prime COVID era, I was slowly phasing myself out of liking video games. I was playing them less and less. I was thinking about selling my console and every video game that I had at that time. And I think I was just phasing myself into liking other things like fashion, I guess. You know, I was too cool to play video games, but not to wear a damn sweatshirt that says nerd on it. Anyways, just because of boredom of that time period, I picked up Burnout Paradise for the first time in like 6 years since I got it for the first time. And oh my God, it brought me back to just that age of just having fun in video games, picking it up and just enjoying it. So that brought me back, damn, my bad. That brought me back into video games during that time period. And then I just had to get this game on Nintendo Switch when I finally got my Switch in 2023, because I can't put this game down whenever I start playing it. So I knew I just had to get that, you know, on the go experience with this amazing title. It is just a huge instant dopamine and rewarding experience that, you know, you don't really see too much of nowadays in modern racing games, where their aim is to be as realistic as possible, like the Forza Motorsport series, which are fun games. I have played them and I, you know, do play them every now and then, but this game is just, it's the pinnacle of just arcade racing games that I love so much. There's barely any menus in the game outside of the ones that you use to pick your car, so the title just puts you directly in the action, because every like race and activity you have to trigger inside the car, you don't have to drive up to it, you don't even leave the car. But anyway, I beat the game on PlayStation 3 in 2020, and in that same year, EA announced that they were bringing the 2018 remastered version that came to all the 8th gen systems, being the PS4 and Xbox One and PC versions. They were bringing that to the Nintendo Switch, and it was in some sort of like Switch Direct showcase of that time period. I knew of it, but like I said, I already beat the game, so I didn't, you know, care too much about it. I just thought that was cool. But then fast forward to late 2024, in December actually, I found this game for the Nintendo Switch for ass cheap, because it's an old ass game. It was already ass cheap like back when I got it on like 2011 when the freaking PS3. And man, I want to say that when I picked this game up in 2024 for the Nintendo Switch, I was sort of in the same spot that I was in 2019 when I picked it up for the PlayStation 3 for the first time in however long it was, because not in the sense of like I was kind of done with gaming, because obviously I was making videos at that time, so you know, I have this whole hobby, but it was just, I needed something new, because in my latest video that I just posted talking about not having to beat every game that you play, I mentioned that I put myself on a schedule. Like I wanted to play this game, then beat this game, then, you know, do something else. And it was starting to, you know, weigh on me and my whole lifestyle, working and, you know, all the other stuff that I had going on, and trying to meet deadlines that were freaking imaginary. But man, when I tell you, when I picked up Burnout Paradise and took out that little ass cartridge that's almost the size of a phone SD card and put it into my Nintendo Switch, all of my problems just went away. because this game is like, it's like a crack for me. Like, the best way that I can describe this game for someone as casual as possible is to say that it's like the racing arcade game that you would actually have to sit in those, like, you know, Scene 75 or Dave and Buster's, like those ones you actually sit in the booth. It's like one of those games, but way more easier to control, and just you have so much more customization, and you don't have to pay your freaking interstate toll fee just to play those games nowadays, because they're expensive as hell. And then what just adds to the aesthetic of this game that I love is just that late 2000s, you know, 7th generation piss filter era where all those games just had so much bloom. They were kind of stagnant and colored a little bit. This game with the remaster, they kind of brighten it up. I can tell from like the PlayStation 3 version to the Nintendo Switch version, it just still bleeds 2008, and I love that. But what does suck is that in this version, they took out some of the cool billboards in the original 2008 like 1.0 version of this game. Like, they had Burger King billboards in the freaking game. I remember seeing that. I was a kid. I was like, you know, that's crazy. But with them taken out, they also added a whole bunch more. Now, like the 2018 PS4 and Xbox One version, you have all of the cars, all the DLC cars that, you know, Burnout Paradise got over the years, including like all the toy cars, the bikes that you got later on. And I will say, if it's your first time ever playing Burnout Paradise, you might have a loss of incentive to go through the entire storyline and really just playing all the races and all the different activities in the game, because you have basically all the broken cars at the start of the game. Like, if you just go to the legendary cars section and pick out one of those, you're set for the rest of the game, I swear to God. But no matter how you play, there's just something so fun about playing the races, going through Paradise City in this game, that just, it feels like, you know, a second home to me, because I grew up, you know, going through this freaking map all the time. The races are fun. I love the road rage mode, where your whole objective is to take down as many cars that's, you know, racing against you, and just, you know, crash them into everything and have them crash against you. That's one of the most just destructive human primal instincts of fun that I just have in gaming. You got Marked Man, where all the other cars are trying to take you down, and of course through all of this you just have the insane wicked crashes that Burnout has always been known for. Like, this game just has over the top freaking slow-mo animations for whenever you just hit an insane wall, or just even if you like grace a car, they'll freaking slow the camera down and just make you watch your freaking failure. I love this game, and it revitalized gaming for me once again on the Nintendo Switch version, because it did not compromise any gameplay with this, you know, handheld mode, which obviously, you know, you wouldn't think that, because this is a 2008 game and the Switch came out in 2017 compared to the, you know, older PlayStation 3 that I did play on before. But, you know, we can't act like games like Batman Arkham Trilogy doesn't exist, and that whole debacle of shit on Nintendo Switch. Either way, man, Burnout Paradise is a must-have for me, basically for pretty much every other console that this game gets ported on for, you know, the near future. Like, if this game comes out on the Nintendo Switch 2, like in a like new, I don't even know how they could upgrade this version, or maybe like on the PlayStation 6 or something, I'm just gonna get it because I love this freaking game so much, man. And it just, it grounds me back to what gaming should always be, and that is just simple fun. And the reason I make these videos talking about, you know, not beating games and, you know, what games revitalize gaming for me, is because these videos are sort of like self-therapeutic for me, to just talk about my gaming struggles and hopefully inspire somebody to overcome them in the same ways that I'm finding ways to overcome them myself. And this game for me, every time I play it, I just feel, you know, in that simple mindset of just, this is fun, I love this, let's freaking do it. And, you know, Burnout Paradise is that game.